Welcome back to Bible and Blues, and today we are in a totally different environment, something totally unrelated to Christmas or, I imagine there was a lot of prayer on this ship. If this ship had been real, there'd be a lot of prayer on it. This is the Nostromos, the legendary ship from the first Alien movie. This is right behind me. You see the sleep pods. So this is where the movie kind of opened up in here. There is quite a bit of cool stuff here. They've done really good job. Whoever built this world really went all out. I mean, okay, they didn't get the whole Nostromos, but there's a lot here. There's only the one level. There's levels to go up and down. This is the lunch area. This is where the one guy had the chest burster pop out. And this is a really cool place. This is, see here, it is you can see what time it is for me here. It's 8:46. Just trying to get this done here because I haven't done a Bible reading in a few days. I've been doing some stuff, getting really busy. It's a holiday season, and everything kind of happens really fast on you, faster than you ever expect it to. I haven't been in this room here. Oh, okay. This is the cockpit, and this is actually kind of cool. Roll it around. Grab that, and you can just see the view here through this portal, this window. This would have been the Nostromo in place as it was going. I think it's really cool. They have all the meteors below us, but then you see some entering the atmosphere there. The atmosphere is very cloudy. Cool. I love it. I don't remember this. It didn't have. This would have been the atmosphere of LV-42. Is that the right one? Am I catching that right? Is it LV-482? I want to say it was 482 alien, and that would LV-426. 426. So far off. Holy cow. I call myself a fan in this movie. So LV-426 is the planet we're on, the moon that we're around, that we stopped, and all the stuff happened. If you look here, we are actually in the cockpit, where all the piloting happens and all that fun stuff. There is another portal over here to the other side. There we go. And which looks pretty much the same, no big deal. So we're going to see if I can find a little better lit place. That's one of the things about some of these worlds is they're very dark. And so as a result, you just don't see as much. My avatar is fun for me, but not so exciting for you. I don't know. But it's fun. So usually I do this tour after I read, but I'm just not going to get it done now, because this room here is the med bay. So this is where our fine man with the chest burster was examined and stored and kept until as they figure things out. And so. Anyway, like I said, it's probably about as light as it's going to get. I think it's just kind of an aspect of this world. There's not a lot of light, kind of nature of the beast with the movie it was. So we're going to read Acts 25. Acts 25. This is out of the NIV. 3 days after arriving in the province, Festus went up from Caesarea to Jerusalem, where the chief priests and the Jewish leaders appeared before him and presented the charges against Paul. They requested Festus, as a favor to them, to have Paul transferred to Jerusalem, for they were preparing an ambush to kill him along the way. Festus answered, "Paul is being held at Caesarea, and I myself am going there soon. Let some of your leaders come with me, and if the man has done anything wrong, they can press charges against him there." He's kind of seeing into their stuff there. After spending 8 or 10 days, with them, Festus went down to Caesarea. The next day he convened the court and ordered that Paul be brought before him. When Paul came in, the Jews who had come down from Jerusalem stood around him. They brought many serious charges against him, but they could not prove them. Then Paul made his defense. I have done nothing wrong against the Jewish law, or against the temple, or against Caesar. Festus, wishing to do the Jews a favor, said to Paul, "Are you willing to go up to Jerusalem and stand trial before me there on these charges?" Paul answered, "I am now standing before Caesar's court, where I ought to be tried. I have not done anything wrong to the Jews, as you yourself very well know. If, however, I am guilty of doing anything deserving death, I do not refuse to die. But if the charges brought against me by these Jews are not true, no one has the right to hand me over to them. I appeal to Caesar." After Festus had conferred with his council, he declared, "You have appealed to Caesar. To Caesar you will go." Festus is now going to go consult King Agrippa. A few days later, King Agrippa and Bernice arrived at Caesarea to pay their respects to Festus. Since they were spending many days there, Festus discussed Paul's case with the king. He said, "There's a man here whom Felix left as a prisoner. When I went to Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders of the Jews brought charges against him and asked that he be condemned. I told them that this is not the Roman custom to hand over anyone before they have faced their accusers and have had an opportunity to defend themselves against the charges. When they came here with me, I did not delay the case, but convened the court the next day and ordered the man be brought in. When his accusers got up to speak, they did not charge him with any of the crimes I expected. Instead, they had some points of dispute with him about their own religion and about a dead man named Jesus, who Paul claimed was alive. I was at a loss how to investigate such matters, so I asked if he would be willing to go to Jerusalem and stand trial there on these charges. But Paul made his appeal to be held before the emperor's decision. I ordered him held until I could send him to Caesar. Then Agrippa said to Festus, "I would like to hear this man myself." "Tomorrow you will hear him." The next day, Agrippa and Bernice came with great pomp and entered the audience room with the high-ranking military officers and prominent men of the city. At the command of Festus, Paul was brought in. Festus said, "King Agrippa," I'm going to roll my R almost every time, I swear. "King Agrippa and all who are present with us, you see this man. The whole Jewish community has petitioned me about him, Jerusalem, and here in Caesarea, shouting that he ought not to live any longer. I found he had done nothing deserving death, but because he made his appeal to the emperor, I decided to send him to Rome. But I have nothing definite to write to his majesty about him. Therefore, I have brought him before all of you, and especially before you, King Agrippa, so that as a result of this investigation, I may have something to write. For I think it is unreasonable to send a prisoner on to Rome without specifying the charges against him." So there's nothing there. It's a big nothing burger. Okay, there's nothing there to charge him on, and that's what Festus, he really wants to score points, but being a Roman citizen, so Festus wanted you want to be able to score points with the Jewish culture, with the Jewish people, but he couldn't get away with it because there was nothing he could do. And Paul, being a Roman citizen, he had special rights too. On top of that, he could appeal to the emperor, and he could make that appeal, whereas none of the Jewish people could do that. But they wanted to take him back to Jerusalem, and because of his knowledge of what to do, he's been able to avoid that. Now he's going to be heading to Rome. Here is reading of the Lord. Thanks be to God. It was a really good reading there. I had a couple interruptions, some people to pray for. Among them, my mother lost a friend from across the street, who lived across the street from her, and my sister today. And it was not an unexpected loss, but it did happen. And then my sister lost a very close friend of hers, and please pray for her as well. And it's a big deal. It's something that that's it's a loss. Of people that one of them I knew, one of them I didn't know at all. So I don't know where their heart is. I don't know where their thought process is on God and Jesus, but we pray for them either way. So for Betty and Jeannie, please pray for Betty and Jeannie. Betty is the one I don't know. Jeannie is the one I did know. So, but thank you very much for sticking around. And it's kind of a bummer phone calls while I was doing the video. So I'm going to get out of here. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.